You just said, if we can break the rules, but as long as we self-police and say, look, this is what we did, everything is okay. You just can't catch us. But if we come to you first, if I go to the officer, I was speeding. I ain't gonna give you no ticket. But if you catch me, Skip, this is some bull jive.
Okay, so let's be 100 here. If the NFL, watching from afar, watched Aaron week 1 do all of his interview sessions without a mask, if they had cracked down and called,
that's it,
Mark Murphy, called somebody, called LaFleur, whoever you call, and you just say, hey, not acceptable. Cannot do it. You have to tell him he has to wear a mask. Well, obviously, if Aaron starts wearing a mask to his interview sessions, people are going to start asking questions.
Right.
Aren't you vaccinated? Well, well, now he's exposed. He's outed, right? So he can't wear a mask, and so they're going to let him get away without wearing a mask.
That's why he didn't wear it, because he knew he was unvaccinated.
Sure.
And that's the telltale, Skip. Everybody, when I see guys on the sideline with a mask on, I'm thinking, oh, he ain't vaccinated. Because that's the protocols that the NFL is saying, the NFLPA, that's what they've agreed to, Skip. If you're unvaccinated, you wear a mask on the sideline. So Aaron Rodgers knew that. He knew, he has basically said he was immunized, but if he all of a sudden starts showing up wearing a mask at these press conferences, people go like, well, hold on, Aaron, you're vaccinated. Why are you wearing a mask?
Okay, so clearly, the NFL was under severe threat from COVID a year ago, and so many teams were so threatened that games were in doubt. There were no fans in the stands. The product suffered, the income suffered gravely. And they said, we have to crack down this year to protect our product. Yet, they're not going to protect their product at the expense of today's product, which would be Aaron Rodgers. So, again, to me, Aaron Rodgers deserved at least to be suspended for one game, because that would send a message to the rest of the league. We will not accept this. We will not stand by for this.
I can make a case that his conduct was detrimental to the league.
It was very detrimental.
But I guarantee you, if that had been a linebacker, that had been a wide receiver or a DB that had done what Aaron Rodgers did.
You could make a case, make an example out of him, right? Send a message. Well, they just sent the exact opposite message.
The exact wrong message, Skip. And then yesterday, that interview, that was some damage control. Because to me, I saw him sitting up there, I saw the same smug, arrogant, flippant, condescending, narcissistic guy that he always been. That's what I saw. I saw a guy that did not like the backlash. He thought he was sitting up there talking all slow last week on the Pat McAfee show and thought, oh, this is cool. I do me. I'm doing me. This is all about me. And that firestorm. You see, that's the thing, Skip. You and I sit up here and we say things, and we know we're going to get criticized. Everybody's not going to be happy. But I say what I said, and I move on. You say what you say, you move on. He couldn't do that. He couldn't handle that pressure that came along with his smugness, with, oh, I'm unvaccinated, and this is what I do.
This is the first time he's ever been called on anything he said or done.
Okay. And then he lost the healthcare sponsorship. I think State Farm said they're standing behind him, although, be smart, he's entitled to his opinions.
I might have missed him, but I didn't see any of Aaron's State Farm commercials this past Sunday. Just for the record.
But I'm sure that they'll come back. They'll let it die down a little. Let smoke a little, let the fire die down a little bit. We'll run it back in a couple of weeks.
So if I'm the NFL and I'm weighing how much I should fine or punish them, if I should go to draft picks yet or go to suspension for Aaron Rodgers, I would take into account whether he was contrite or not in the interviews he gave. Did you hear a note of contrition from him?
Big N.
Did you hear anything? And my favorite line from Aaron yesterday was, I made some comments that people might have felt were misleading. Might have? Well. Then he goes on, to anybody who felt misled by those comments, ... And I'm thinking, he's going to say, I apologize, right? I apologize to those. If I offended you, I apologize. But he didn't say that. No. I take full responsibility for those comments.
You should. You made them.
Okay, but the point is, when you say, if anyone felt misled,
I apologize.
Okay, but the next part of that sentence says, hell with you.
Exactly.
It just says hell with you.
Basically.
If you felt misled, I take full responsibility. Hell with you. Because I'm Aaron Rodgers and you're not. That's how that came across to me. Zero contrition.
I take full responsibility for misleading you, but I'm not sorry for misleading you.
I'm not sorry, because I am who I am, because I'm Aaron Rodgers. So it was intriguing to me that he finally backed off a little bit and he says, I'm an athlete. I'm not an activist. So I'm going to get back to doing what I do best, and that's playing ball. Okay, so this is the guy who wanted to be the permanent Jeopardy host because he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room.
Yes.
And he does have high intellect, and he was very good. I didn't think he was the best, but he was very good at hosting Jeopardy, and he was very good at playing Celebrity Jeopardy, as you have played before yourself. So I give him all of the above, but he wanted to show everybody, I'm way above you because I have researched this, and all you people out there, all you woke culture people, you don't get this. You don't really understand what's going on. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to display for you just how wrong you are about COVID and the vaccines. And in doing so, he made a fool of himself.
He did.
He said, he thought the NFL doctors were quacks, and he came off as the ultimate quack here.
Skip, sometimes I don't think Aaron understands. Scientists don't work just during a season. See, like football players, you only play during the fall. Scientists work year-round, Skip, trying to come up with cures in different diseases. And this is a SARS, so they've been working on a very similar for a decade. So this is not something, they came up with this in 6 months. No, they didn't. That's not how science works. But I forgot, he just started doing it. So how long has Aaron Rodgers been doing research on COVID? At least a decade, gotta be.
Years,
Okay.
He's way ahead of the curve on COVID, on SARS, on any of those.
I'm almost certain. And that's what he wants you to believe. I've done my research. As opposed to people that's been doing research, Skip, for 30 years. Dr. Fauci's been at this, he was at the forefront of the AIDS epidemic. Before Aaron was born.
Okay. And yet he concluded yesterday, I have a ton of empathy for people who have been going through the worst part of the pandemic. I have tried to help out as much as I can. Baloney. Baloney.
What you did more damage.
A lot of the experts think that he did the most damage that has been done through the whole pandemic because he is seen as a role model. He is a top draw in the National Football League. When he speaks, people listen. And he spoke so wrongly. So out of bounds about all things COVID that a lot of the experts that I've been reading say he did more damage than anybody has done because he gave the anti-vaxxers reason to say, aha, I was right all along because Aaron said I was right. Okay? So here we go. We just took 2 steps back because of Aaron Rodgers, who says, I've tried to help out as much as I could.
Actually, the only person you tried to help was yourself. And we know that through history, in your history, that you were one of the most selfish people that the NFL has come across in a very long time. Hence in lies, there's why, and everybody was criticizing, and even Greg Jennings, and Greg, took some of the things back, and then people like, oh, Greg, it makes perfect sense. Very, very selfish. It's always been about him. It's always going to be about him. There's a look, Skip, you look at guys that win a lot, and they're not as talented as him. There's a reason, Skip. Look at Brady. Brady don't have the talent that he has as far as the ability to run the football, to make it change platform. We were talking about this throw that Dak threw it to the ground. Aaron Rodgers would have flipped that ball to the side. Cedric Wilson turns the ball up, gets a touchdown.
Well, obviously, you can argue he has had the most arm talent ever, even beyond Mahomes' arm talent. I'll buy that.
But what's missing, Skip?
Intangibles. Thank you.
Things you cannot measure. You can measure his height, his size, his speed, his arm, how hard he can throw the ball. But there are certain things that cannot get measured. You can't measure leadership.
Nope. You cannot measure it, and he is at the bottom
devoid of it.
He is devoid of it. One reason he is now 1-4 in NFC Championship games. Also a reason that since that long ago Super Bowl, he's 7-8 in postseason games. 7-8. He is below 500. It's leadership.
I think the NFL missed an opportunity to send a very strong message that we hold all our players to the same standard, to the same accountability, and not let quarterbacks. And people have already said, look how you make all the rules for the quarterback. We can't hit the quarterback. We can't do this to the quarterback. And the NFL's like, you're right. You see, we're only going to fine him $14,000. We're only going to give the Packers a slap on the wrist. You're right. Just confirm what the players and everybody around the league knows, that quarterbacks are treated differently. Well, this was your opportunity to send a very, very strong message that we're taking this serious.
So everybody in charge in Green Bay, in New York, holding breath all season long. Just hope he doesn't get COVID.
Right.
Please, no COVID. Please, no COVID. And they all got busted. He got busted. The Packers got busted. The league got busted because nobody cracked down on what it should have been cracked down on.
Week one. Yep.
Thank you.
Selective with their punishment, I think, is a good way to wrap that one up. Guys, OBJ is finally free, but will he have a big impact on his next team? Plus, will Russ, AD, and the Lakers make it 2 in a row tonight as they face the Heat? What did you say, Skip? The Heat is on. We will dive in next.